everybody, my name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Seder. Today we are finally talking about the third and final book to the Splintered trilogy, Ensnared by A.G. Howard. You may remember that I did not so much like the second book in this series, which was Unhinged, and I really liked the first one in the series, Splintered. And so I kind of took a break from this series. How could you go from being so amazing to being so awful? And I put this book, I bookmarked it at my library, and I was like, okay, maybe if I don't have anything else to read or none of my holds are up and it's available, then we'll see. Well, that happened. So I checked it out. I was like, you know what? It's finally time and we're gonna give it a listen. And you know what? It started out okay. I was like, okay, you're redeeming yourself. We're doing great. But it did not take long for that to just crash and burn. I gave it 3 stars this time instead of like 2.5 or just 2 or whatever, because it was better and it was sort of getting there, but there was still just too much of that romance that in the first book did not take away from anything, but then for some reason it just became the whole focus point. In this book, it was absolutely ridiculous how much the romance took away from the story. There were things that were happening and we didn't get to see them because instead we got to see Alyssa almost have sex with 2 different guys, which, it got a little irritating, and, that kind of kept me from scoring it any higher, but since it did better, I did not score it lower. So there's that. We left off in Unhinged seeing Jeb and Morpheus get sucked up into Any Elsewhere, the prison for Wonderland. And we also see Sister 2 kidnap Alyssa's mom and take her into Wonderland as a hostage. This is all seeming super perfect, seems great, and Alyssa becomes unhinged, roll credits to see what you did there, and goes to a mental asylum and is going nuts, and we're gonna get her dad's memories back. Does that not sound like a great story? I think it sounds like a great story. Then why wasn't it? Well, it starts off really good with Alyssa getting her dad's memories back. It was really awesome actually, because her dad is descendant from a bunch of white knights, and he is actually supposed to be guarding the gates to Any Elsewhere along with his family, and that was super cool. And we learn a little bit more about Queen Red and just kind of her past and her motivations, and that was super awesome. What A.G. Howard does best is world building and giving these characters really interesting backgrounds. When we actually go to Any Elsewhere, we get some great descriptions. It seems really cool. I love all the rules and everything. And then it all stops when we actually get to Jeb and Morpheus. This whole time I thought the book was gonna be, alright, get the memories back, check, get Jeb and Morpheus, alright, and then go get her mom, and then defeat Queen Red. But the whole book is basically just Alyssa in Any Elsewhere trying to convince Jeb that he should still be in love with her, even though he's not. I don't blame him, she's kind of done a lot of bad things to him. And then of course Morpheus just trying to cause trouble, and she just spends the whole time almost having sex with both of them, while in the background characters are going off and storming Queen Heart's castle, who also sounds fun, except we don't really get to spend any time with her, and then we just get to hear about those things, and instead we get to see Alyssa crying about her just horrible life. I don't understand. What really gets me about Ensnared and Unhinged as well was that we're just kind of told that a lot of cool things are happening, or we're told that cool things could happen, or we get really awesome descriptions of characters, but then they're not super awesome in real life, or we just don't get to spend any time with them. What the books really are just Alyssa struggling within her little love triangle. Yes, there's all this awesome Red Queen stuff happening, and yes, there's all this coolness going on in Wonderland, but we don't really get to see Alyssa interact with any of it. It's really just kind of there in the background, which once again makes me think of fan fiction, because there's all of this stuff happening, but really it's just this relationships. That's really all that's being written there. That just makes me so upset, because these books are really good. There is so much potential here, and I don't get any of it. If this had been told from maybe Jeb's or maybe not Morpheus, but if it had been told from other perspectives, I feel like it could have just been great. Then again, we might have got the like, oh Alyssa, I miss you, which we don't need. The romance is really the fault of these books, and I feel like if you took it out or if you downplayed it just a little bit, it'd be so much better. We do get a couple of cool things, but they just weren't enough to make up for it, and because of that, these last two books have really made me hate the series, which is so bad because it got off to such a great start. So overall, I am very happy to be done with the series, and I am now done talking about it. I am currently reading The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan, and I am very, very happy that I am finally reading this book. I was kind of on the fence about it because I feel like good old Uncle Rick, I'm sorry for saying this, has kind of been milking the Percy Jackson cow just a little bit, but I am very happy that I am reading it. I'm a quarter of the way through it, and I am just like laughing my head off. It is so funny. I have always loved Apollo, and I'm so glad that we're getting more of him, and I love that all of the chapter titles are his terrible haikus. Like, it's really great, and I'm tearing through that, so that is probably going to be next week's video. If it's not, then I don't really know what we're going to be talking about because I'm listening to a book that I don't think anybody's going to want to hear about, but I guess we'll find out. We'll see what I finish. That's everything I got for today, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye!